Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Live to Roll channel. I am your host for the day, Brianna Wheeler. We are back with another women's disability show, and today's topic is social media confidence. I'm super excited to have these guests with us today. They have amazing stories, and they're all amazing people. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. I've introduced myself a lot of times already, so I'm gonna let some of them go first. So we're just gonna say our name and our injury and how long you've been injured for, and then a quote if you guys have one. So Heather, you wanna go first? Oh, you're muted. Try talking. No, we can't hear you anymore. How weird. It. Okay, Nikki, for right now, you can introduce yourself. How about that? And then Heather, you can try to talk, and then if it works. No, we still can't hear you, love. How weird.
So you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, Nikki, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Hi, my name is Nikki. I have a spinal cord injury. I was in a multi-car accident about 2.5 years ago. So I'm at the T2 level, which is right at my chest, and I'm an incomplete, so I can feel below my injury level. And a quote that I really love is, "What if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly?"
Yes, I love that one so much as well. That was beautiful. Tamara, you want to introduce yourself?
Can you guys hear me? Just making
Yes.
sure. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Tamara Mena, and I am paralyzed from the chest down. My level is T2, T3. I've been injured for, 15 years. It's crazy. I used to think that was forever. And a quote that I love, it's one in Spanish, actually. It's by Frida Kahlo. She was a huge icon, or she is a huge icon in the Latino and Mexican community. She's a disabled artist who just changed. She was a trailblazer and changer. And she said, like many, many years ago, "Feet, what do I need you for if I have wings to fly?" So it's similar.
Yes, how beautiful. Yeah, how cool. That is so beautiful. Heather, are we back yet? Do you think your sound is back? No, we still can't hear you. I wonder if it's your headphones. You want to try taking your headphones? Because I know one of our other guests have trouble when they use that kind. No, we stuck. Oh, I thought I just heard something right now. Talk? No. No, we still can't hear you. Maybe try rejoining. Okay, yeah, okay, so we'll go on until she gets back. And then let's see who we have in the chat already. We have Andrew. Thank you for commenting, Andrew, and joining us today. He's saying he's 31, a T10 paraplegic from a car crash. And we have Scarlett as well. Hi from the Bay Area. All you guys look amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining. Feel free to chat and ask us any questions. We're open to anything that you guys have to say or a shout out, anything like that. Feel free. Heather, you're back. I think I hear sound over there.
You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yay!
Okay.
Woo!
So I'm Heather. I'm T10, so from the waist down, and then L3. I was injured in a car accident 2.5 years ago. It's about to be 3 in May. And my quote is, "You only grow from uncomfortable situations."
Yes,
I really
I
like
love that one.
yeah, I really relate to that because I feel like we all can with like injury, you know what I mean? Like we're kind of just thrown into it. So
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. And then I'm T12 through L5. I was shot about 5 years ago. And my quote for the day is, "It is okay if you're still trying. The goal is to never stop believing in yourself." So I really love that one as well because, you just got to keep on going. And sometimes it feels like the finish line is so far away, but you just got to believe in yourself and keep on doing you, and that's what this conversation is going to be all about as well. So I'm super excited for that. Before we get started, I wanted to talk to you guys about the Disability Film Challenge that me and Tamara filmed in last week. We're doing a challenge, and every like and comment and share really does matter. We have the link in the bio, in the description. So if you guys could click on those and give us a watch, and like, and just give us back some feedback. It's a mockumentary. It's so funny. It's a disabled character, which is Tamara, plays the winner in a dating competition, and I play an able-bodied person that lost to her, and I'm just like super friendly, and so it's super backwards but so hilarious, so funny. We have some amazing funny punchlines inside of there. Tamara, you want to add anything to the disability challenge, or did I cover it?
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, that was great already what you shared. The support, that was, the concept was inspired by something that I truly would like to see. I can't wait to see a confident disabled woman win a dating competition, something like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, and just like own it. I'm not saying that would be me. I'm telling you, it's just something that I can't wait to see, and it was inspired by that. And would love for you guys to go support it. And it's meant to be funny and kind of awkward. So, go.
Yes. Okay, we just want to mention that. Okay, so getting started, we'll go to Heather first. So, did you post about your injury on social media, and how long was it in between you posting and you actually like posting on social media?
It took me a long time. So I waited about a year to post, actually like a year and a half to post on social media. And
To
I
post
always knew
anything?
that I didn't well, I posted that I got into a car accident, but I didn't post to like the degree of what like had happened to me and like
Uh-huh.
what my injury was and all that kinds of stuff. So it was actually on Spinal Cord Injury Awareness Month is when I decided to post something and share, and then that's how we met. Was you reached out in that first post, so I was always really happy about doing that.
Yeah, that's super, super cool. And why do you feel like you were so hesitant to share about your injury?
I just felt like I was going to be judged and that, people were going to think that maybe I was reckless or, I had gained some weight. And I just didn't want to have that, I don't know the word, like pressure of people looking at me. And also people saying like, oh, like you're going to walk again and stuff like that. I didn't want to hear that, so I kind of just held off on it.
Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense, and I feel the same way. It took me a while to like really post and share afterwards, and it is hard, because it's like kind of like the judgment of knowing people are talking about you and your situation, and you just like rather that not be happening, and it kind of does suck for a while, and it does prevent you from sharing. I hear that a lot. How about you, Nikki? Did you post when you first got injured?
So I actually did post probably about 10 days into my injury. I was still in the hospital. So I posted hospital pictures, myself in the chair at the hospital. And then I just continued to post while I was in rehab and in the chair. I think I didn't really think about me being in the chair. And I just went and posted because I wanted to let everyone know in my community how I was doing and what was going on. So I didn't really want to like let the chair define me. And I just
Okay.
wanted to, keep on moving forward and pushing forward towards my goals and not care if I was walking or wheeling.
That's great. And did you have a big support system when you got injured?
I actually did. I had my family. My sister flew home from Nashville. She was living at the time. I'm in Pennsylvania. My family grew up here. And I had a bunch of friends that came to visit me, my coworkers, because I was injured coming home from work. So they had all found out the following day when I was supposed to work, when I obviously didn't show up, what had happened. So I had a huge support system through them as well.
Yeah, I feel like that makes a big difference in how you like kind of jump back into things and how you feel about like the
Hmm.
chair. It is what I realize is like a support system, you know, and having that to lean on. And I got injured in Arizona, so I really think it would be a different experience if I had got injured around my friends, you know, in the same city, and everybody was like visiting
Hmm.
me or like then pushing me, you know. But I was
Yeah.
very isolated for a while after my injury because after Arizona, I still was far away from everybody. So I was super isolated, which made me just super depressed and not want to
Yeah.
do anything.
I can
So I think that
definitely
was
see that like
yeah.
hindering you to post.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And also because I was shot and it's such like a like, oh my God, you know what happened? Who was she with? Whose fault was it? All these questions that like come with it. I just like felt so much anxiety with like having to tell everybody about it. And then like the pressure of them telling me again, like what Heather said, of walking, you know, it's hard, you know, when the doctors are saying one thing and everybody around you saying another thing, you know, and you're just like, you want to believe, but it's hard, you know, because you also have to live your life. So I think it's super complicated, you know. How about you,
Hmm.
Tamara? Did you post? Did you have social media when you got injured?
That's so funny. Just for that to even be the question, did you have social media? I got in so long ago. So, right. So I was injured in 2005. Social media was just starting. So actually, MySpace was like a new thing. And I can't remember exactly when it started, but I did have a MySpace, but I wasn't like super big, like huge on it or anything. I did post though on my MySpace, but it probably wasn't, I didn't post something until like, I think it was close to a year of my injury. And in 2007, that's when like everyone went crazy with Facebook. And so at that point, it had been about 2 years post injury. So I did post myself in the wheelchair like on Facebook, and that was important for me. So like other young girls found me on Facebook, and were motivated to see me in a wheelchair. So I say that it was really tough because I would have, in some ways, I would have loved to get injured now, because honestly, like our presence for the disabled community on social media, like right now, it's fire. There's so much like awesome things in our community, and so many people sharing their stories, living their lives fully in so many ways. So in that sense, like I'm totally like envious, but I'm trying to be on social media. I'm trying to share the things that I would have liked to read, or that, I wish somebody had shared with me.
Yes, I love that so much. And when you first posted a picture inside of your chair, were you like already taking pictures beforehand, um, or like was that the first picture that you took and then you just decided I'm going to post it?
Actually, so prior to my injury, had won this modeling competition, so I became really good friends with the photographer. So I'm so glad that I had his support, honestly, because he really like pushed me, and or like he really believed in me, and he encouraged me to get back to shooting with him pretty early on, just like close to a year. So it was still pretty early on. Close to a year, I did my
Mhm.
first photo shoot. And it probably would have been sooner if I hadn't been so sick. I had a lot of medical complications in the but we did it. And I did not use the wheelchair at all. Like all of the photos that we did, I was outside of my wheelchair. Like I was sitting on the couch, I was sitting on another chair, and it was
Mhm.
crazy, guys, because I remember like sharing this, like this photo shoot. I was kind of proud that, like, like I got back to it, and I shared it with a friend, and my friend goes, "Where's your wheelchair?" And I looked at him like he was crazy. I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Your wheelchair's part of you." And it just like hit me, like that is a defining moment for me. It was like, holy shit, he's right. I didn't think of it because I didn't have a reference of anyone like owning like a model in a wheelchair, like nobody mainstream. And I don't even know that we have that still. So yeah, I just think that was a thing at all. Like, I really thought he was crazy, but he really encouraged me. And then my friend saying that. So then the next photo shoot, I included the wheelchair because he was right, and it was so empowering. Like, from that moment on, it was really, really empowering.
Yeah, I think it's a really empowering moment to take pictures inside of your chair. And I had like a similar experience where I would only take pictures of like my face. Like I would only post selfies for like a long time after my injury. And I would look at it like I'm posting pictures, but in reality, I was not posting pictures of like actual all of me, you know? And it was because I was like, a part of me was still embarrassed of it, you know, and I still didn't, when I would see pictures of myself in the wheelchair, I didn't look and be like, oh, wow, look at me, look so pretty. You know, my mindset would automatically go negative and I would be like, oh, okay, whatever, like, it's good, you know, if you want the picture, you can have the picture, you know. But I was not into taking pictures or looking at myself for a while until I did the photo shoot and really tried different outfits, different poses, and really got comfortable inside of my chair and felt beautiful again, you know, getting dressed up. It's really empowering to do that. Heather, so for you, were you posting pictures? I mean, were you taking pictures and like getting dressed up before you actually posted that one on your social media?
I didn't take any pictures. I did get dressed up. Like I've always loved to do like my makeup and like get dressed and look cute and stuff like that, but I refused to take pictures. I was like, you guys are not going to like family events, whatever. I didn't want to take any pictures. I didn't want to see myself in the chair. I rarely looked at myself in the mirror. I would just throw on my clothes and then like think like, okay, I know I look cute, so I'm gonna just head out the door. But I didn't want to see myself in a chair at all. I refused. And then one day I was just like, you know what? Like I seen all these girls on social media like taking cute pictures in their chairs and I'm like, oh, they look sexy, they look good. Like I want to feel like that, like I want to take pictures and like have that same energy, So I just decided to do it. And I had like I had my mom like, like telling me like, oh, like pose like this, turn a little bit. And so it made me feel really confident in taking pictures.
Yeah, that's super cool. I love that so much, and I think that's important. Nikki, how about you? Were you taking pictures before you were actually like posting them on your social media, or oh no, you said from the jump you were posting pictures. Maybe how long did it take you from like posting those pictures in rehab? Did you go straight from that to posting like confident pictures and stuff like that right afterwards in your social media? Did you take any breaks?
So, yeah, I feel like I was posting more of rehab photos and hospital pictures, more so of me than in my chair. I relate to both of you in the sense that I was taking pictures like from my waist up and doing all the filters to make myself feel pretty and kind of hiding the wheelchair. And then I don't know when it hit me, but I was like, this is a part of me too. I look good. I feel good. Like I'm going to cross my legs and I'm going to take a picture. Like I'm sitting down in a chair. And then I just kept on doing it. And I think from that moment on, it just like clicked, like, live your life. This is like, you look beautiful no matter what.
Yeah, I love that so much. And do you feel like, so the disability community, you were following people before you decided to post? Like, do you feel like that was like a big motivation in you posting?
Yeah, I do. Tamara, I actually followed you, and a lot of your posts made me feel confident enough to post. Like when I was out vacationing with my family and like in a bikini, I would have never posted. And just all of your motivational posts of modeling in a bikini and all of that, like those really motivated me to like push myself out of my mental bubble and block that is saying like you don't look good because your body is different now, and posting anyway. So I definitely do think the disabled community posting has helped me like significantly for sure.
I love that you said that. And we'll go to Tamara afterwards because we were just talking about this and I was telling her like how like it might seem repetitive for her since she's doing it every day. But so many girls gravitate to it because they feel like that's the first time that they're seeing somebody inside of a chair looking beautiful, owning their disability, being confident, and it makes you feel like I can do that too, you know? And when you don't have that, before I looked at social media, I didn't feel like there was anybody out there doing this. You know, I didn't feel like I could be beautiful inside of a chair. I didn't think it was possible to wear a bikini inside of a chair. Like I literally just marked it away from my routine. Like it was not even, any of my clothes are not even close to cute clothes, you know, before when I first got my injury. I just blocked it out of my head. I'm in a wheelchair now. I can't be cute, you know? And it's like people like Tamara that are motivating us, you know, and like really encourage us to like keep on going, you know, and like, and not only that, but feel confident in our own skin again, you know? So I think that's so empowering. So Tamara, if you want to lead off, like how the community, you touched on it a little bit, but how it's motivated you to keep on going.
Well, first of all, you guys were like, you had me tear up. Like, I really am holding a little bit of tears back because it was so difficult for me. Like, it's really been like a really tough journey because I, it's one thing for you guys to read my post, but like, if you heard it like from me, like, it's deep and it hurts, you know, like for years, I really held myself back from being who I was, like the person I was prior to my injury. I really felt like I couldn't be that person. I felt scared to, for example, I have a degree as in communication. You know, I was very proud to be, if you will, in a professional environment, and I was scared, like, how am I supposed to dress? Like, I don't want to be too sexy. I don't think sexy like goes with being disabled and fighting all of that. And I just, it took me so long, but I just had to keep like remembering to be true to myself, like, and to do what I wanted, even if it wasn't popular and even if it's what I didn't see. I really, for many years, was like, I can't wait to see a woman in a wheelchair, like sexy and confident, like on the cover in a bikini or showing off skin. I can't wait to see that. But I did not think that that person could be me, or like I didn't put myself out there like that. It took me years to enter the Sports Illustrated swim search. And even then, that's why I almost teared up, because like it's been discouraging. You know, I've been sharing so much posts and they have featured other women that are in the competition that they're highlighting, and they have not featured like any women with disability that are in the competition. So it makes me feel like I'm not their definition of sexy or beautiful. And that definitely got to me, honestly. So I just have been kind of discouraged. So just recently shared my post. It was the conversation that I had with you, Brianna, because we were talking, her and I, and, you know, on the phone, and just like as friends, and I was opening up to her about that, and she told me that, you know, she shares my stuff to young girls like often, and like that really made my day. And it reminded me of my why. It reminded me of why I do it. I don't do it so that, oh, the bikini, because so they get more likes. It's really not about that. For me, it's something that is really deep. And if people understood what I went through, and if people understood how it feels to not feel like feminine, sexy, beautiful, empowered as a disabled woman, like if they really knew, they would understand it. But yeah, it's hard to think about how are people going to judge me, even your family. You know, you have people in your family that may be too, like, you're like, oh my God. And, you know, to them, Brianna and I touched on this too, you're always going to be like their little niece or your little daughter. And they probably don't want to see you in a super sexy way, much less, seriously, like much less, because people think of people in wheelchairs like we are the hero. We are the just forever inspiring hero that is always strong, that we have like some human power, which we don't. You know, we are just like everybody else. We're human, and we're multidimensional, multifaceted, just like everyone else. But we need to change, you know, we need to change that, because I don't like to just also be looked at she's such an inspiration. And then people almost expect me to be like a saint. I'm like, I don't know. It's, we're a little bit of everything, just like everyone else. People to see that and feel that they can be themselves. Whatever it is that you're into, like, I just want to inspire people to do it and not hold back.
Yes, and that's so important because I feel like sometimes we can get caught up in social media and being like a perfectionist, and I have a hard time really showing my day-to-day life and everything that I'm really into because I have like very two different sides of me, like like I read the Bible, but I also listen to gangster music, So it's like very, very half and half, Heather, I know you understand what I'm saying as well, And so it's like hard to meet new people and having your family's friends following you now and like trying to like live up to their expectations of who you should be, Because also now like with like me posting more, like Tamara said, I'm now the inspiration, right? So now they're telling their friends about me, follow this person, follow my family member, and it can be hard to like keep hold of their standards of who you should be, and it almost like starts preventing me from posting and like really like second doubting. Like I have a lot more pictures in my camera roll than I do that I post, if that makes sense, and I do find myself hesitating a lot, which kind of goes into our next question of just like, do you ever find yourself not wanting to post because you're comparing yourself to other women or other people's content, and I feel like that's really hard for me because I get inside of my moods where now I follow so many disabled pages, so many women in wheelchairs that like almost every other post is somebody inside of a wheelchair. And so I find myself comparing my content and like, why would I get dressed up and write a motivational post when there's a bunch out here and everybody's liking all these other people's pages, like who the heck am I, like who's going to find my stuff motivational or my stuff inspirational? And like, that's just not your negative mindset. Your negative mindset is just your own worst enemy, right? It's like almost like telling you lies and you have to fight against that, because that's not true. And what I realize is like with this injury, there's newly injured girls all the time and they're always looking for new people to follow. So you don't know whose life you're going to touch and who's going to find you and who's going to get inspired by your post and feel like they really relate to you, because you can follow a bunch of pages, but sometimes you don't really relate to them. So I just want to, again, inspire you guys to keep on doing you, and really building your profile to show who you are and what you want people to know about you and remember about you, So I think that's important. So Heather, do you ever find yourself comparing yourself to other content, or how do you feel about that in posting?
Yeah, I constantly do because I'm like, I see everybody in their cute outfits all the time and their different backdrops and like going out, and like I don't really do that. So I do compare myself in my content of like, oh, I have to have like a new outfit on or like a different background that's not the same, or like not reposting like pictures from the same like time that I took them, like the same camera roll or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely do, and I wish that I didn't, but
Yeah, it's definitely hard, to just deal with that. And like, I think it's very natural, not just for us as disabled women, but just in women in general and just people in general. Honestly, like social media has kind of created this spot where you can like create somebody who you're not as well. So people kind of envy this perfectionist part of you, because we're not always posting just like us waking up in the morning and our hair is all wild, and like all this stuff. Like, no, we're posting when we're going out, we're posting when we're doing stuff. We're posting motivational things, and like people feel like they aren't doing that, and like I think it's hard. I think it's definitely hard. And I think it's hard for newly injured people to get on the role of doing it as well. But the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. I'm working on it as well constantly. And me and Tawana were talking about it as well, like just me putting more effort into it and really creating something that I want instead of comparing myself to others, So I just want to encourage you guys all to like check that thought in your head, and don't feel like you're not worth it, because I feel like those thoughts go through our head a lot. Nikki, how about you? How do you feel about comparing yourself to other women or other content? I know you started posting about working out recently. So is there any comparison with other girls that are doing the same thing or anything like that?
I feel like I compare myself to them in the fact that, how do I word this? Like I don't like, since we all have different injury levels, I look at it like, well, people are going to look at her and then they're going to look at me and they're going to wonder, well, why can't she do this move, but then she can do this move, and then they're not going to trust my judgment versus their judgment. And that's just, I think, like a mental block for me that I have to get over. But I would say I more so look towards other women on Instagram for inspiration. So what they're posting kind of inspires me and my creative mind in what I want to post next. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely that confidence facet that I have to get over when posting, me in my tight workout clothes. Like, my body doesn't look like it did when I was an able body. It looks different now. So I have to kind of take that leap in my head and say, all right, just do it. Like, you're putting out content and you're going to help someone no matter what. And if people don't like it, then they don't have to look at it.
I love that. Yeah, that's the mindset to have. And you touched on a good thing too, as well, because we're not only comparing ourselves to other women and other people, we're also comparing ourselves to who we used to be, which is a huge one, right? Because well, now we're looking at ourselves in the chair and we feel like, maybe for me, like my legs are skinnier. I look a lot different than I did when I was standing. And although I learned to love myself, and when I look at pictures from before, I feel like I look a lot more happier now, it's still very, very hard. And I do find myself comparing to how I would have looked in that outfit before. I had to try on some dresses, but the dressing rooms weren't open. So I had to buy like 3 outfits and then bring them home for my boyfriend's parents' anniversary party. And I was just so frustrated that it did not look anything on me like it did the mannequin, and it's so frustrating and so hard to do, because I'm just like, I would have totally rocked that outfit. That was totally my style before. And you don't realize that you have to totally um, I want to say dismember, but that's not the right word. Detach, detach yourself.
Really do have
Yeah.
to let go of that person, because
Mm-hmm.
tough. Like, I like connect with all of you because I'm 15 years post and I still remember what my body looked like before my accident and the confidence that I had and how I would rock certain things. And it's still hard. I don't want to discourage you guys, but I want to keep it real. And then about comparing ourselves, like, I hope that this makes you feel better. I do that too. Like, I do that often. I have my on and off days. Like, I have struggled. Like, even before I started like my Instagram and stuff, because there's always other girls that are more active on social media. And social media can be great, but it can also be really hard, because exactly like Brianna touched on something really important. Would normally talk about the positive moments. We talk about what we share the vacations, we share like all of the happy stuff. And yeah, you start to get an idea. You idolize other people's lives, and you think their life is perfect, especially people who don't really open up about like just any struggles. So you just kind of think like their life is amazing. So it can be really difficult to battle that and to like feel like you're worthy, or like anyone's gonna want to hear what you have to say. And that's another thing, like I told Brianna this, like, which it happened to me. So I remember thinking like, well, but I'm not going to start a podcast, like, for example, because so and so already has a podcast and they're doing great. And something that I've been like telling myself, and I said this to her, is like, yeah, but nobody is you. Like, you are Brianna Wheeler, like, and nobody else can be you. And, you know, like, each person, like, we're all special in our own way, and we all bring value to the world. And exactly, our stories are different, our journeys, our views on life, and there's always an audience. Some people are going to connect with you, others may connect more with somebody else. But the point is that we all compare ourselves, but at the end of the day, you really have to remind yourself that nobody else is you, and you matter. Your story matters, and you are beautiful the way you are. And it's always going to be tough because, you know, there's always like competition. I feel like there's always people who have, I also like, I agree, you know, like, I don't have an amazing house, like, you know, and there's certain things that I wish I had better. So, yeah, I hold myself back from sharing certain things because we have this idea of everything has to be perfect, everything needs to be like the most beautiful. And actually, so I wore this top before in like a photo shoot I have at the beach, and I have like my arms like this. And I really, like, honestly, I haven't worn it since then. Like, I wore it for this photo shoot. I didn't know what to wear. And then when I saw this, and then I was like, oh, but I already wore it. And then I was like, screw that. Like, fuck that. And I did it on purpose because we're talking about social media. And I was thinking, like, who says that you can only wear like one outfit one time? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, especially you love the top, like, wear it more than once, twice, 3 times, rock it. Like, I just feel like all these ideas are like stupid, and I did it on purpose. I do have other clothes, but I did it specifically because I want to talk about this. You know, like, social media isn't always what is in reality, and you have to understand that, and try not to compare your reality to somebody else's, especially social media.
Yeah, I agree so much. It's so hard not to do that, but it's so important because, like you said, nobody else is you. And also, something that's really cool about social media is it's going to be there forever and ever, you know? So you never know who's going to come across you and just think that you are exactly what they need, you know? And it kind of seems like, okay, you know, like, oh, somebody's going to find my profile out of all these profiles and feel like I'm the motivation, but you're doubting yourself, you know, like, nobody says that that cannot happen, you know, and you have to just keep on going about life and loving yourself. You know, if you like the picture, if you like the caption, then you post it, you know, and it is hard to get those thoughts out of our head, but with practice, I think that it's possible, right? So we have like a lot of like inner ableism, and like we feel this way, and it's like embedded into us already before, and like we have to almost unteach ourselves these things and like catch our mindset when we're feeling this way, you know. It's hard, believe me, I know, you know, but with practice, like I said, it's possible. And that's what matters, because once you start posting and once you realize that, you're happier, you don't care, you know, it doesn't cause you that stress of worrying, you know.
It's a reality though, that about the ableism, like, you know, we all have internal bias and internal, like, so many isms, you know, that we have to unlearn and we have to understand. And I think that's something really important that we should just like mention a little more, because a lot of people don't even know what ableism is. And just like, if we talk about racism, if racism exists, which we know it does, and people didn't know what racism was, it will never get fixed unless we talk about it, you know, unless we acknowledge it. Like, it's discrimination and against, basically putting people who are more able at a higher value, like higher worth than you. So like, you know, like, growing up, yeah, like, I always thought anyone, like, you know, you don't have the idea that a disabled woman would be a better partner for someone, you know, like an able-bodied. You automatically, and vice versa, for as a guy, you automatically think, oh, like, you know, like the medical model, like, poor person, and they're gonna have to take care of them their whole life. Like, you don't think of sadly, we are not valued in the same way. We are not seen that way. That's what society has taught us. And that has happened a lot in our mind. So it's difficult to even like for dating to feel like we're worthy of being with someone, you know, if you're disabled. So it's something that we really all need to talk about and work on, because it's just like for example with my fiance Chris, like yeah, he's able-bodied. When we started talking, he was in a really bad place in life, and like emotionally, mentally, and like I literally like brought him up and like changed his life, like completely the opposite narrative of Me Before You, which it was like the able-bodied was like the hero basically. And I'm not saying I'm the hero in my relationship, because I have my bad days and he lifts me up, but that's what it is. It's like both partners are equal, and you know, just because you're disabled doesn't mean you don't contribute in the same way.
Yes, I agree so much. I'm going to touch back on that. I just want to touch on the chat really quick. Scarlett messaged and said that she came for Heather, but I thank you all for telling your story. You guys are helping and inspiring others so much. We really do appreciate that. Robert, we are all strong in different ways. That's so true. Black Olive, I appreciate all of you. He said hi as well. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Base of Spades, good afternoon. Andrew Hunt is just commenting about his story as well, where he was injured and lost his support system, which is really hard. We appreciate you tuning in, Andrew. He's been joining us lately in the chat, which we really appreciate. And yeah, Robert also mentioned having your family as support system is the best thing, which is totally makes a difference as well. And also just touching on that really, really quick, the support system thing. So if you don't have a support system, create a support system. In the beginning, I didn't have a support system, and I kept on hearing all these people post and talk about their story and how did you get over it? Oh, my support system helped me, you know, blah, blah. And I was just like, okay, where do I get this support system at, you know? And in my head, the people that I was thinking of is just solely like the people who were around me before. And that's not the case, you know? And so I was able to talk to other people that were inside of wheelchairs and make friends, you know, and have them be my support system and lean on them for my goals and lean on them to understand me and stuff like that. And that really inspired me to keep on going with my injury, you know, and just living my life more, and still does. The disability community is everything to me. You know, I love it so much. I feel like they help me, you know, and even on my bad days, you know, I always find somebody that I could relate to and just like stabs me back, or just venting to them, you know, and like, yeah, so I think that is an important thing to touch on, you know, create a support system, look for support groups in your area. There's tons of online stuff that we're doing now. The Triumph Foundation has almost support groups like every day of the week. So definitely message me if you're interested in that, and we can connect you, and you could just go on and listen. You don't even have to have your camera on or say anything. You could just go on there and just hear what other people have to say and tune in if you want to. So I think that's an important thing to mention. So yeah, going back with the dating thing, I think that's so true. Inside of our head, we have this like image, and other people do too. I can't tell you how many looks me and my boyfriend get when we're out in public. You know, I'm sure you guys can relate as well. And it's just like, no matter who we explain it to, and when they get to know us, they know that it's a very different relationship. It's always like there's always going to be people on the street that look at us that way, you know, where we're going, you could just feel their eyes on us and just wondering, you know, inside of their head. And it is hard, you know. And in the beginning, I didn't know anybody in a relationship, so I almost felt like I was taking something away from him by not having my legs, you know? And that's total bullshit. Let me just say that, you know, like I am a total equal in this relationship. I probably almost do more because I'm constantly like cleaning and doing all this stuff for like girl stuff for the house, you know? And like Tamara said, like we are a partnership. We balance each other out, regardless of my chair or not. Sometimes I have to remind him, like, hey, I'm disabled over here. Remember, I'm in a chair, you know, because it almost becomes like he just sees me as his equal, you know, and that kind of it gets that after a while, you know. And people who don't see you like that, because I've also heard of people being in relationships and that's not the case, then get somebody else, you know, you deserve better. some people don't deserve you, and you might want to stay in this relationship because you feel like you're not going to find somebody else. And let me just tell you, that is not the truth at all. And when people get to know you, you are still you and you're still a person, and so don't stay in a bad relationship because you feel like you're not going to find somebody else. Yeah, so I think that's important. I don't know if any of you guys want to touch on any more relationship stuff before we move on. No,
it's just important to do your best. Do your best, like with what you got, with what you can do. You don't have to be the best, just do your best. But if that is good enough for somebody else, if they're constantly bringing you down, if that's probably not the right for you, because you need someone who's not going to judge you, somebody who's going to empower you, and you need to be in a partnership and help each other out on the good days and bad days. That's how it is for Chris and I. We help each other out in different ways. So, and you can find that, and you may not be with that person, but just know your worth and your value.
Yes, preach, girl, preach. Okay, so moving on with our social media topic, just talking a little bit more about like our favorite and least favorite things about it, and like maybe if we could change something, like what that would be. I think we touched on it a little bit with just like having to compare yourself to other people, and having people not put out like their full authentic life, which is what social media is all about. Some people do it and some people don't, which is totally fine. Like, do you and post what makes you comfortable. Also don't have to post just like pictures where you're not ready, or post those sad moments just because you want to also have that relating moment. Like, no, do what makes you feel comfortable. It's your page. I would say that. But going off of least and favorite, my favorite thing would probably be that we get to connect to people all over. Like, I really love how me and Heather have never even met in person, but we're just like really close and we can just talk to each other about anything. And like, we wrote in like long messages to each other just back and forth, and we're just always there for each other. And like, we've created this bond and this friendship because of social media, and I think that that's so cool. And I have like a couple other girls where I've really developed a really good friendship with them over social media. So that would have to be my favorite part. I think that that's really cool to do. And my least favorite part would probably be all the people's opinions, comments, and having to feel like you can't post because you're going to offend somebody, or somebody's going to comment something judgmental inside of your comments. I really hate that part. I just wish everybody would keep their negative comments to themselves. That's how I feel. Heather, how do you feel about social media? What's your favorite and least favorite part?
I definitely agree with you on my favorite part is being able to connect with people and meet new people and, just like grow from them and learning like what they would have wanted told themselves like when they were newly injured or whatever. It's really helped me a lot. And then my least favorite, this is a hard one for me. I guess just the comparing myself to people. I love social media. I love being able to like see people's stuff, but I do always think like, oh, like this girl got on a jet ski, like I can't do that yet, like comparing my recovery to other people's recovery, or like, stuff like that.
That is a big one. And I would just like to add on that really quick, because I think that that is something that is natural, right? Especially when you're first injured. And I deal with a lot of newly injured girls, and I get this a lot, where they feel almost intimidated because they're like going onto social media and seeing everybody live their lives, but they're just not there in the recovery yet, and they feel like that it almost feels impossible to them, and you have to like work up to it. You have to like slowly learn these different things. You're going to learn different poses about yourself. You're going to learn what makes you feel more confident. You're going to want to try more things the more that you get into life, but don't rush yourself, and don't feel like you don't want to post what you're sharing because somebody else is doing something so much more greater, because that's not the case. Because maybe somebody who feels that way, that they can't post as well, want to see your page, and want to see you just doing simpler stuff. And they don't want to see people on jet skis, and that's the truth. For real. How about you, Nikki? What's your favorite and least favorite part about social media?
I would say that my favorite part is that I got to meet not only just all of you right now, but so many other wheelchair users around the world that I would not have met or seen prior. I also love the fact that I get to learn from each and every person that I find on Instagram, like little tidbits, how they transfer, how they do wheelies, how like new tools like the smart drive or those cool bike things that you push on your chair. Just all of these different mechanisms for living a more independent life that I wouldn't have known prior. So I love that so much about social media. I really hate all of like the negative energy and commentary and rude and judgmental people. I wish that there was a way that you could, you know, sift that out so it wasn't posted. But since there's not a way to do that, I guess it's just like push it to the wayside. But yeah, those are my favorite and least things.
Yes, those are great. Totally agree. Somebody commented on my live post and was like, you should have believed in Jesus and this wouldn't happen. And I was like, how dare you type that out to me? You know, it's just like the audacity of people that you're just like, oh, Jesus. And I know, Tamara, going to you, you get way more different comments and stuff for more than us, you know, from people. So was there ever a time in you posting that you felt like hesitant to post because of these comments, you know, and because of the devotees? Is that what they're called? Yeah,
Well,
they comment a lot too.
it's not so much the devotees that I hold myself back. The way I look at that part, I can't control it. Like you can only control what you can control. Like I can only control the way I react to it. I'm not gonna like abolish or like they're not gonna disappear because people that this is I mean I don't understand it. I can tell you that, but I do know that a lot of people have different fetishes, like
Mhm.
like multiple different fetishes. Not just it's not just something for that. It's not like the only fetish in the world is people with women with disabilities. I don't understand it. I want someone who loves me for me, not because I'm in that category because I have a wheelchair. Like that just seems off to me. But I'm always respectful of people as long as they're respectful, like whoever they are, whether they're a devotee or not, as long as they're respectful towards me, I'm okay with just, like whatever they want to
Mhm.
comment. But if anybody crosses the line, like devotee or not, or disabled or not, then I block them. And yeah, I did struggle with that. I wanted to say that because I was body shamed on social media when I was on Nuestra Belleza Latina in 2013, like it's 2021. It took me so long to be more comfortable, like in a bathing suit. But when I entered that pageant, I was not comfortable being in a bathing suit still at all. And I'd already been injured for a while, but I had to do a bikini catwalk as part of the it was the second round. And
Mhm.
then somebody said like some people were saying that I was fat and just body shaming me, like saying stuff about my legs and just saying stuff about how like a disabled woman could never win something like that, and you can't walk, what are you doing there, just stuff like that. And some of those comments were hard to hear. So yes, it took me from 2013, it took me 4 more years to like break through those comments that were holding me back, that was telling me that I was fat, that I didn't have the body to be in a bikini. I really did experience that. So it took me 4 more years to break from that. And so I just want to share that because yeah, but don't give them so much power. I'm glad I broke through that. It might have taken me a while to reclaim myself, to like own it. And that's okay. Be kind, trust your process, be kind with yourself. It's a journey. You just don't get there from one day to another. Like I love seeing other women's journey, like Brianna. I can see that you are starting to come out more out of your shell. I can see that you're starting to own who you are. And I'm like, yes, girl, like I'm here for it. So I think just know it's your page. So just real quick on the negative comments, if somebody, don't give them that space. Like if they're like, bashing you, they don't even know you. They're telling you whatever they think they think about you. Like, you don't have to leave that comment. Like, why even give them more power and more space on your page? It's your page. You get to decide who, like, if they're crossing the line, block them or delete their comments. That's what I recommend.
Yes, I agree 1,000% with everything that you said. And I take so much advice from you because I just feel like, I struggle with all these things too. And you think that, it just like goes away one day, but it's not. It's something that you have to constantly work at, and I see like people inside of the chat as well, like Robert saying confidence is a real issue that you struggle with. Like, it's normal to feel that way, it's just important to also remind yourself that those thoughts aren't true. So, like, don't feel like something is wrong with you because you're having these thoughts and you're having a confidence problem. You just have to know that you have to balance it out as well and tell yourself these thoughts aren't true. I have to look in the mirror and be like, I'm beautiful. I deserve everything that I dream about, because you start to feel unworthy, and this society in general has a easy way of making you feel that way, and so social media is a good escape, and it's a good platform to build yourself up, and show the world who you really are. And that's not something that people in the past got to do, So I think it's really interesting. And just always remember these tools that we're telling you about. So, like, leading off on the last question, what would you say to someone who is hesitant to post on social media but wants to start, and any tips or advice? So, we definitely touched on a lot of tips and advice, but anything that you guys want to add in, we can do that right now. So, Nikki, is there anything that you want to say? Maybe if somebody wants to start a workout page like you, but they're very hesitant and they felt the same way that you felt, of looking at your body compared to other people's body, but they want to do this, maybe they were a personal trainer beforehand and they just want to start something. So what would you say to them?
I would say go put on your favorite pair of workout leggings, your favorite pair of workout shoes. Do your hair. Don't do your makeup because you got to protect your skin. You don't want to clog those pores, girl.
Yeah.
So get yourself ready like you would prior to your injury or disease or experience, and go do your workout. Have your little camera on the side. I got like a tripod for Christmas. That was like my motivation to, really start posting and getting back into it. And just put your tripod on, video, and act like no one's there. Then when you're going to post that video, I recently did this with a dance I had learned from Chelsea Hill. My sister videotaped it for me, and I, of course, was looking at the video and saying, I don't know, the outfit doesn't make me look that great. And she's like, Nikki, no one's looking at your outfit right there. You look great. You look amazing. Just post it. So I closed my eyes and I posted. And that's my advice. Go get yourself looking good, feeling good. Take that picture, take that video, and just hit the post button.
Yes, that was great advice. I love that. That was wonderful. That was wonderful. How about you, Heather? Any last advice that you would give to somebody who's hesitant to post on social media?
I would say just post it. And what I do is most of the time I just post and then I'll leave my phone for like an hour or two and then I'll come back to it. And honestly, I mean, I deleted my Instagram and made a new one. So all my followers are people that I love and love me and stuff like that. So I know I'm going to have that like positive feedback. And it's always good to get like send it to a friend or something, because they're gonna always encourage you and uplift you and make you, feel good about yourself. And that's what it's really all about, feeling good in your post and just going for it. That's what I'd say.
Yes, yes, it's definitely hard. And like once you already take the pictures, because I do it as well, I'm like looking at them in my camera roll and I'm just like, oh, like judging each one so harshly, you know? And it's just like, no, like what about if your friend was the one sending you the picture? Like, would you give her such harsh advice? Like, no, look at the corner of your shirt right there. It looks a mess. You like, no, like you would be like, let's go, work it, you know, post it. And so you need to be your own cheerleader too as well. And if you ever need encouragement, exactly, reach out to a friend, send it to them, and they'll boost your confidence a little bit and post it. You know, I think that's so important. How about you, Tamara? Any last advice to somebody that really wants to start getting started on their profile, but is maybe a little too nervous or having confidence issues?
My advice is to do it. It will help you. Just know that, like, putting yourself out there and be real, be authentic. I think that's what matters the most. Like, you don't have to have the most amazing car. You don't have to have the most house. Like, you really don't. People want to connect with you, with who you are on the inside. So and I have to remind myself of those things like often. So just know that everyone on social media, even people with like millions of followers, like I'm sure they had a hard time at some point. I know, like, I'm in a group of like influencers and we talk about mental health, and just know, like, your mental health matters. Like, social media is part of our life. It can be your job. If you choose for it to be your job or a hobby to a job, that's great, but it's not everything in life. Just like remember that, and maybe take breaks in between, because it can be very overwhelming. Like, especially being on multiple like apps and managing so many different pages, like I can be sometimes like completely overwhelmed, and it's okay, like in the end, your mental health matters more, because if you're not okay, like, you can't give back to others. You can't be there for others in any way. So I love connecting with people from all over the world. I love the messages that I get, like some like amazing messages about um just like people saying, like, how much I help them, and that means the world to me. So just know there will be negative people, like I said, but it's your page. You have the power to decide like who to also let in your world or not. So don't just accept negativity. Don't just take it, and don't give them more power.
Yes, yes, I love it. Preach. Those were all great answers, you guys. And I feel like for me, I would just say don't focus on the likes and the comments and how to get like the optimize the best most followers and do that, because that can be really stressful. And I realize like that has affected my posting as well, you know, comparing what pictures get more likes and then like comparing likes to your worth, you know, and like that doesn't equal the same thing, you know. It doesn't matter if 5 people saw it or 500 people saw it. Like, of course we get that excitement, you know, but you have to also understand that if, you know, if your religious God, you know, if not life, you know, wants you to touch certain people's lives and that's what's meant to be for you, then you just got to keep on living, you know, and like realize that those people that keep on living out their lives and just keep on giving their all, blessings do come your way. You know, and sometimes it's so easy to look like that person has a million followers and look at what they're doing and look at what they have and comparing yourself to it, but you don't know their struggles, and honestly you don't know what they're going to lose or gain in the future and where you're going to be in the future as well. So just try to erase that from your mind. I know it's really hard with social media, it's really back and forth, but just know that you're not alone in it. And also, you know, a quote that I love to say is, in a year you would have wished you started today. So just start, you know, because in a year, you're going to be able to look back at all these memories. You're going to be able to see how far you've come. You're going to be able to look back at, you know, and like get some flashbacks and be able to compare and like show yourself that you're accomplishing things, you know, and look how far you come. Sometimes I forget. I read my old posts on my social media and I'm just like, wow, my mindset has even changed so much, you know, and it's cool to see, you know, it's like your own personal journal, you know, your own personal little photo book, you know. And so yeah, the judgmental part is definitely going to be your battle with this, but just like we said, we all are different people on here and have different like followings, and we all deal with the same thing, so it's normal to do. Yeah. So let's see what's going on inside of the chat. Oh, Peter just said, if they mess with you, tell me, I will roll over their toes. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. And Otis said, great. Okay, perfect. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and commenting with us. This was a great conversation, and I think something that a lot of people struggle with, so I hope that you guys get something out of us. Leave us a comment, leave us a like on our video, share it to your friends. It really does help us reach more people and touch more lives. So we really do appreciate that. Sean is back on this channel every Tuesday at 3:30 with new topics, and I think he's starting stuff on the offset of my Thursdays as well, but we'll keep you tuned with that. I'm every first and third Thursday. Make sure to follow us all on social media for any updates. Reach out to us if you guys want to. We're all really open and honest. And again, me and Tamara did a disability film challenge, a mockumentary we mentioned in the beginning. So that link is down below, and we really, really appreciate your support in that. It is a competition. So every view, every like, every comment really, really matters to us, and we really, really do appreciate it. It's supposed to be really funny concept and really unique. So let us know how you feel about that as well. And yeah, I think we're good. This was the Live to Roll channel, and the topic was social media confidence, and we will see you all soon.